Are you trying to improve your career by getting your certified internal auditor designation? And as you've gone through and looked at it, it's quite a challenging exam to get through and to be able to get certified. There's three different parts, and it goes through a lot of information. Um, but getting your CIA certification is the top certification in internal audit. And so if you're serious about a career in internal audit, you know that it's something that you need to get. But if you're like a lot of people that I talk to, as you start looking at it, you start running into some problems, right? Sometimes your organization doesn't support you in this. So it's something that you have to pay for out of your own pocket. Sometimes you look at it and you have to take vacation time to be able to go to classes or purchase self-study material on your own. And here's a few of the things that I hear from people. They'll go out, they'll buy some self-study material, for example. They'll start looking through, and it's confusing. It's hard for them to understand in the way that it's written, and they don't find it very effective. In fact, I've found a lot of people that have taken self-study courses, and they read the book, they go and take the test, and they don't pass, and they're kind of disappointed at that point and thinking, well, what is this? I studied, I worked really hard. Why wasn't I able to pass? Well, here's one of the reasons. Reading material only has about a 10% retention rate. But when you can actually see, hear, and read, your retention rate goes up to about 70%. So, if you're struggling in the exam, one of the reasons might be the way in which you're studying. Other people, they look at it and they think, hey, I want to go to a live training course. I want somebody to be able to help me. But then they look at the price tag and realize it's about $2,000 per part. So to sit down and take the CIA exam and go through all the training courses, they're looking at having to invest $7,000 to $10,000 of their own money. And most people don't have that. And so what ends up happening is people revert back to that self-study where they're off on their own, looking at the material, trying to understand it. And I've talked to so many people who have taken the exam over and over again. And I don't want you to do that. That's one of the reasons why I created the Mefford CIA review course. It follows along the materials that are in the exam, but in addition to being able to read and have some of those self-study things, I've recorded videos so you can actually see pictures, see slides, hear my voice, read the material, and that increases your retention from about 10% up to about 70%. Another thing that I've heard a lot of people do is they go and they try to just practice a bunch of questions. And they think that by practicing a bunch of questions that it will help them pass the exam. So they go out, they buy a bank of test questions, and they memorize those questions, and they know what the right answers are, and then they go and take the exam, and they don't pass, and they're disappointed. And the reason for that is those sample questions will not be on your exam. The CIA exam is difficult, and in order for you to pass it, you really have to understand the topics. And so doing more test questions isn't going to help you. Understanding and retaining the information, that's what's going to help you. And again, that's one of the reasons why I created the Mefford CIA review course. So you can read the material, you can watch the videos, you can go back and forth reading, watching the videos until you get comfortable with the material, and then go and take some sample questions to make sure and test your knowledge. Now, the other thing too is, we talked about on the one side, if you do kind of the in-person training, you're going to be spending $7,000 to $10,000 to do that. To do self-study material, again, often you're going to be spending over $1,000, and you're stuck by yourself. You're alone reading, and that can actually get very boring and very difficult for you to actually stay on pace. That's another reason why I created the Mefford CIA review course. It breaks it down into little chunks and helps you so that you can get through the material. And as you're going through the material, you're actually retaining more and more of that information. I've had some people that have come to me, they've taken part 3 as an example for 2 or 3 times that they have not passed. And again, that starts to get expensive. I mean, every time you take the exam, it's a couple $100s. And so not only have they spent money on self-study materials that they're reading that are not very effective, but they've spent money on taking the exam multiple times. And that's, again, why I developed the Mefford CIA review course. I want you to be successful and pass the exam and not have to take it multiple times. I want you to actually be able to understand the material and be able to learn it so that you can be successful. Because I'm a CIA as well, and I know what a great feeling it is when you pass all of those exams and you have that certificate and you're able to move forward in your career. And that's why I want to help you. I want to help you pass the CIA exam. And in order to do that, like I said, I've created this course. It's on demand also. So that way you can study when you need to study. You don't have to do a live webinar where you're required to be on a call for 3 or 4 hours multiple times a week. You can do this on your own pace. And like I said, increase from about 10% retention up to 70% retention. So if what you're hearing is resonating with you, and I hope it does, because I really do want to help you, then go ahead and get registered for the Mefford CI review course, because I would love to help you pass that exam and get certified and move on with the rest of your career.